Hello, I'm Chris Kimball and this is Stateline. Coming up, a 40-year-old TDT story about Lake George, also a new method to get kids to read and enjoy it. First, Canberra is known for its cultural institutions, yet little is known of the incredible indigenous collection held by AIATSIS, the Institute of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Studies. The centre holds art, photos, videos and audio recordings. In fact, more photos than the National Library, over 500,000 of them. The clock is ticking as conservators race to digitise the precious collection before it quite literally fades away. Kate Evans reports on the collection and its collectors. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers are advised that the following story contains images and voices of people who have died.
You can look at material that goes back to 1896.
The challenges are keeping the machinery playing in tip-top condition.
There has been a lot of people that have found photographs of their family that they've never seen before.
It's this amazing, legendary Australian story that is unheard of and really undocumented.
Hidden inside this building is a vast hoard of treasure. The audiovisual archive at AIATSIS safeguards almost 1 million items that document Indigenous Australia. Photographs, audio recordings, artworks and film.
Jack's wife, Margaret, she's rolling the string together for a dilly bag. She collects them from the milkwood trees.
My name's Tom Eccles, I'm a film archivist at AIATSIS. The film and video collection goes back to the 1960s when the Institute was started, and they initially started the Institute on the basis of collecting film footage to record what was happening, the changes that were happening to Aboriginal culture at the time. We have just about every format that was ever in use in Australia, I think, ranging from 8mm film to 16, 35mm. We've got the early open spool cassette J-format video, which was used extensively by Indigenous communities as a way of, as an education tool from the 60s and 70s. I think we've got 14 varieties of videos, and we're constantly scouring, the internet for parts and equipment to replace current equipment and buy new, older equipment so that we can keep these formats alive and keep the process going till we can digitise this entire collection.
UNESCO estimates archives around the world have as little as 10 to 15 years to digitise and preserve priceless audiovisual heritage. Much of this heritage has already been lost through decay, destruction and a lack of resources, something the UN says has impoverished the memory of mankind.
Old film needs to be kept at colder temperatures. It's very fragile. Once the emulsion starts to decompose and lift away from the base, there's not much you can do with it.
Every now and again, the archivists discover something special.
We have a section of the film vault where we put films that, I guess, we call them orphan films because we don't know where they came from, and until we find their parents, we just put them on a special shelf. And there was a film, and all it had scribbled on it was Ben, so we could see it was obviously an interview with an old Aboriginal man. Without the soundtrack, we had no idea what the story was, who he was. Ben didn't mean anything, so after a few years, another collection came in, and it had a roll of audio with it. When I heard the word Ben mentioned on the audio roll, I thought maybe it has some relationship to this roll of film that we have, and when we put them together we found that they did match, in fact, and it revealed this very interesting interview of an old Aboriginal man who was about 89 at the time when he was interviewed, and he'd had the most fascinating life.
The mission was going all right, happy. Everything was happy. Till 1915, the wartime.
He volunteered to go to Gallipoli. He was captured by the Turks at Gallipoli and was only released on Armistice Day. And he came back to Australia after that and worked as a cameleer for many years, moving wool around the inland to Australia using a camel train.
I carted with a camel, yeah.
The mission wool.
Mission camel.
This photograph of Ben Murray as a young man, probably taken before he went off to war, was also turned up in the Image Archive.
Looking extremely handsome, looking like a film star, and so finding that was just amazing. He's this amazing, legendary Australian story that is unheard of and really undocumented. It was very exciting for me, you know, as a film archivist. You've not only brought back an important film, but you've also put together another life of an Indigenous person that was not accessible before.
Transfers of the Arakan dances recorded Cape York Peninsula in 1962.
I'm Mark Campbell, manage audio digitisation, preservation and support at AIATSIS. We've got around 20,000 archive master tapes and 25 to 30,000 field recordings, that the largest proportion of which hasn't been digitised yet. While the focus is on the media, we focus on the tapes and the discs, the source of the material. We actually have to archive the playback machines as well. In the 70s and 80s we were buying them new, and now we have to look across the planet, eBay, various broadcast organisations, the ABC. Then you move on to the tapes themselves. The actual material that the tapes are made of slowly breaks down, and it absorbs atmospheric moisture, it delaminates, it breaks down. Expecting clients to play cassettes nowadays is a big ask as well. They need to access and listen to the material for research or for family history or for whatever, and we have to supply it in a format that's playable on commercially available equipment. Player 3.
Archive tape 4064.
The other one is to get the preservation job done as quickly as we can before the machines, the electronics expertise or the media become unplayable or unavailable.
So it's a bit of a race against time.
It is, yes.
AIATSIS not only preserves Indigenous culture, it also promotes Indigenous talent.
My name is Kirsten Starch. I started at AIATSIS in 2006, straight out of school, doing a traineeship. I was one of the Indigenous trainees at the time, and I have been here for 4 years now. AIATSIS' photo collection is huge. We have over 600,000 photographs. Our collection is actually bigger than the National Libraries, although we have a smaller amount of staff to digitise it. We have a whole range of different formats. I'm very passionate about being a photographer, but also working here means a lot to me because I'm not just an everyday public servant who goes to work. I get to come in and see these images and see my history, as well as know that at the end of the day I'm achieving something for someone else and that I can return these to these people and actually have joy in their lives.
I'm Tasha Lamb. I'm the manager of audiovisual access at AIATSIS. We see every day the impact that the photographs or sound recordings or film have on people who find family members.
This photo like this, if I'm going to show one of my uncle, this photo, I believe or not, bet you any money, he'll cry.
We had one particular client who came in and found images of like his grandparents for the first time that he never met.
There, this is my grandma. And I never seen that photo before, and that's my great-grandfather.
AIATSIS returns material to Indigenous communities around Australia and encourages them to visit the archive to look for records of family members.
See, photograph plays many things in people's life. Some people don't read, but to look at something, all of a sudden something clicks. I remember they talked about this, the old people talked about this. So a lot of the cultural stuff, that's why it's good. A lot of these things are preserved by use. Now we see it. You can revive that.